It started with a sparkle. Every December, Jack Miller turned his little house on Pinewood Lane into something magical. Strings of golden lights framed his roof, glowing reindeer stood proudly on the lawn, and a big star hung over his garage, casting a soft shimmer across the snow. Jack wasn't showing off, he was sharing something. His wife Lena used to love Christmas lights. Before she passed away, they would spend days hanging them together, laughing, singing, drinking cocoa until their fingers froze. Since she was gone, the lights were his way of keeping her memory alive. But that winter, the HOA decided they had other plans. The letter came 3 days before Christmas. Dear Mr. Miller, your property violates HOA Regulation 14.3. Exterior holiday decorations may not be displayed beyond December 20th. Please remove them immediately to avoid penalties. Jack stared at the letter. His lights had been up barely 2 weeks. He checked the calendar. It was December 22nd. Maybe it was a mistake. He called the HOA office. A woman answered, flat and formal. Holiday decor rules are clear, sir. You're over the limit. But it's Christmas week, Jack said softly. It's about joy, not. She interrupted. You've been warned. Failure to comply will result in daily fines. Click. Jack stood there in silence, surrounded by warm, twinkling lights, the same ones his wife used to help him hang, and he felt something twist inside him. That evening, the HOA president came in person. Mr. Calloway, a man with a perfect tie and a permanent frown. He stood at the edge of the driveway, clipboard in hand. Mr. Miller, he said, these lights are not within the acceptable time frame. Please take them down tonight. Jack looked at the glowing house behind him. My wife used to love them, he said quietly. They mean something. Calloway didn't blink. Rules are rules. You can rehang them next year. Jack's jaw tightened. You think the world needs less light right now? Compliance, Mr. Miller, Calloway said coldly. That's what keeps order. He left without waiting for an answer. The next morning, the lights were gone. Jack took them down himself, slowly, painfully. As he worked, neighbors watched silently, guiltily. Everyone loved his lights, but nobody wanted to cross the HOA. By evening, the street was dark. No sparkle, no joy, just a line of grey houses under a black sky. That night Jack sat on his porch, the cold biting his fingers. He thought about Lena, how she used to say, light is hope, Jack, even one bulb can change the dark. And in that moment, an idea began to flicker. The plan began in January. He started small, a few solar panels on the shed roof, a battery set up in the garage. Then he ordered string lights, not holiday lights, but neutral, warm LEDs. He designed custom housings for them, disguised as ambient walkway lighting, technically not decorations. He spent weeks wiring, testing, and building. His garage became a little workshop of light. By March, his front yard glowed again, subtle, golden, beautiful. The HOA sent another letter. Mr. Miller, your property lighting may constitute decorative illumination. Please remove non-essential exterior lighting. Jack wrote back one line. These are safety lights powered by renewable energy, not decorative. He was right, the city code agreed with him. The HOA couldn't touch it. Neighbors started to notice. People walking their dogs at night stopped to admire the gentle glow. Kids played longer outside. Then one neighbor asked, Hey Jack, can you help me install those lights too? He smiled, sure thing. By May, 3 houses had them. By July, 8. Soon, Pinewood Lane shimmered softly every evening, like stars had fallen onto their lawns. The HOA tried everything. Letters, meetings, even threats of fines. But Jack had done his homework. Each system was individually owned, solar-powered, and classified as pathway illumination. Completely legal. Calloway grew angrier with every passing month. This isn't a neighborhood, he snapped during a board meeting. It's turning into a carnival. But people didn't listen anymore. The lights weren't about rebellion now, they were about connection. Neighbors hosted late-night barbecues, kids rode bikes under the glow, couples took evening walks. The street felt alive again. Then came the turning point. One evening in late October, a massive storm rolled in heavy winds, lightning and rain. Power lines went down, the entire neighborhood went dark. Except Pinewood Lane. Jack's solar network kicked in. Every house with his system still glowed, warm, golden, comforting. Families gathered outside, grateful and amazed. Elderly neighbors who'd been scared of the dark power outage found their way safely under the soft light. Even Calloway's house, cold, unlit, sat in the distance, swallowed by the storm. Jack could have ignored him, but he didn't. He walked through the rain and knocked on Calloway's door. "Come on," Jack said, "you can wait it out with us, we've got light." For the first time, Calloway didn't argue, he just nodded. The next day, news crews arrived. Word spread quickly, Solar Street stays bright during blackout. Reporters filmed the glowing homes, neighbors smiling, kids playing. They called it the Light Lane. The city's energy department reached out, offering to expand Jack's setup as a community pilot program. Even the HOA board changed its tune. A month later, the same Mr. Calloway, who once handed Jack violation notices, stood on stage beside him during the city's sustainability award ceremony. "We've learned," Calloway said awkwardly into the microphone, "that sometimes a little light brings people together more than any rule ever could." The crowd cheered. A year later, every house on Pinewood Lane had solar pathway lights. Every yard glowed softly at night. The HOA even adopted new guidelines promoting eco-friendly illumination. Jack never stopped smiling when he saw it. Every evening, he'd sit on his porch with a mug of cocoa, watching the street sparkle, a living tribute to Lena and her love for light. What started as punishment became purpose. What began with one man's defiance became a whole neighborhood's pride. And as he looked at the horizon, the soft lights dancing like stars, he whispered, "See, Lena, I kept the lights on."